I gotta know how much leeway we're giving Maker's Mark at this point, because all they continue to do is put out the same whiskey with different stave finishes and calling it something that I should buy again. This one is fine wine and good spirits. It's 22420. This one is a Banache Liquors pick. It's 00451. I've seen all of these numbers and everything in between. They're not that different. And then, if they don't have the audacity already, then they put out Wood Finishing Series number 1, limited release. Wood Finishing Series number 2, limited release. Wood Finishing Series number 3, limited release. And then they tell us the Wood Finishing Series is over, and they put out Wood Finishing Series number 4, the Hearts release. It's sitting on the shelves here in 2025, and I just cannot understand why we continue to support Maker's Mark while they're not putting out any new whiskey. It's the same mash bill, it's the same whiskey, and they're putting a couple of staves in it. Do something different. It's time we're done with Maker's Mark putting out the same whiskey with a different label on it. I'm tired of it. 46 is pretty good though. Buy that.
I posted that video on March 21st, and on April 4th, Maker's Mark responded with this. Now, I know Coming Whiskey made a post about this as well, so this was right after I went on my rant about Maker's Mark, saying they're making the same thing over and over and over again, and I was tired of it. And of course, we finally got our hands on it here. The much anticipated Star Hill Farms here at Bourbon of the Week. We're going to put it through the gauntlet. Price, taste, drinkability. Let's get into it. Now, as you can see, I drank a little bit of this because why not? I wanted to really hone in on what I thought about this bottle before making this video, but it's been a little while since I actually had it. We're going to revisit it tonight. We're going to see what we think about it, and we're going to put this up against some cash strength stuff that they already have, because it's 114.7 proof, so this wouldn't be fair going up against their normal shelf stuff. Let's try it out though. Everybody knows before we get started on all of that, time for the traditional sip. Time for the traditional sip. Cheers, y'all. That's getting harder and harder to say. I don't know if I love it. That's right, make sure you stick around, because during our Bourbon Bomb of the Week, we are going to put this up against the Maker's Mark Cash Strength. This is the 46, 110.3 proof. That's the highest proof stuff I have coming out of Maker's Mark, but this one is completely different. I had to write this down. This is a wheated whiskey. This is 51% soft red winter wheat, 27% malted soft red winter wheat, and 22% malted barley, which is derived from a blend. I don't know what that means. I don't really get into the physics of things, or the science, whatever you want to call it. But this is a wheated whiskey. This is completely different than anything else that they put out, which is 70% corn. So this is exciting. I'm glad they are putting out something new. I'm glad it's just not the same old stuff over and over again from Maker's Mark. And me and John at Gentleman and Whiskey can argue about that all we want. But let's get into this right now. Price, taste, drinkability. We always start with drinkability. How much ethanol kick is there on this bottle for 114.7 proof? Let's get into it. Now I'm going to say I think this is the only place this bottle is going to shine. I don't love the taste on this, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But if you say, we don't know the age on this, but it says right here, grains harvested, distilled, and barreled in fall of 2006 and fall of 2017. So 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 8, fall of 2017. I don't know when they bottled it, 2025 sometime. So I'm going to say 7 years. It's got to be at least 4 years old, but probably around that 7-year mark. They didn't put it on the label though, so maybe like 6, the 2016, 2017 could be 7 to 8 years old. It's just weird that they wouldn't put it on the label if this was like a 7 or 8 year old whiskey. I feel like that's something that I would put on the label, or I would disclose, because that's a solid age statement on that. That being said, 114.7 proof, this is all wheated whiskey. So we're talking a lot of wheat in this. That makes it super sweet, not a lot of spice. You don't confuse any of the rye spice with any type of ethanol kick or anything like that. And that shows. I think the front of the palate on this, it doesn't give you any burn. It doesn't give you any ethanol. The nose doesn't give you any ethanol. Nothing about this glass is going to be like over complex when it comes to ethanol. 114.7. I keep thinking 6. 114.7. One more sip will give you a score. Yeah, I mean, super easy to drink. We give it a 7.0 if it drinks right at its proof. I'm going to go probably low 8s on this. I don't think it's I mean, 130 that drinks 110 is crazy. 114 that probably drinks, I don't know, 105, 110, somewhere in that range. We'll call it 107. It's not crazy. So I'm going to go like an 8.13 when it comes to drinkability on this. I think it's very good. I think if you're looking for something that's higher proof and you're trying to work your way, it's just tough because I review whiskeys that are bourbons, and this is technically a wheat whiskey. So like I can't recommend a higher proof bourbon that I could compare to something like this. So we're going to go 8.13 when it comes to drinkability on this. I think that's a fair spot. Up next, we're going to talk about taste on this, and this is where I'm kind of like confused on this one because I feel like all the flavors here, like they're all good flavors. Everything that I'm getting is good. I'm getting like a dark fruit note, whether that's raspberry or blackberry or something like that. I'm getting like a slight spice in the middle, which actually threw me off a little bit. I'm getting like a peanutty flavor, and then I'm getting like a chocolate. It's not over oaked, which again is weird because it is at 7 to 8 year possibly, but I don't get a lot of oak. I don't get a lot of age behind this, except for like a chocolatey note. So it's like chocolate covered raspberries, but then you add like this nutty flavor into it because of that maltedness. It's just kind of a weird vibe going on. I feel like all of the flavors separately are good, but the blending that's going on to make this work is just not there. Like somebody added one barrel too many of whatever shouldn't have been in this because it just doesn't feel like it flows. It doesn't feel like it's cohesive. It feels like all of the flavors are kind of fighting for your attention at the same time. Again, I think they're all good flavors. I just don't think they blend well together. I don't think they work well together. And it's all flavors that I should like. I've talked about every single one of these flavor profiles that I love. I love like the peanutty flavor to this, like something like a Heaven Hill might have. I love raspberries and blackberries. I love when you get a little bit of that chocolate note with that fruity note. Like everything again should work. It just doesn't for me. It almost feels, and this is just me picking into the back of my head, it almost feels crafty, and maybe it is because this is new for Maker's Mark, but it feels like a craft whiskey type of flavor profile. I don't want to say copper pot still. I usually like call that flavor profile out specifically. I want it to say that, but it feels more crafty to me than copper pot still. I don't love it. Personally, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, but when we talk about price, I think that a company like Maker's Mark should do a little bit better on something like this. That's just my personal opinion, especially a company that works with wheat for everything else that they do. It's not like they tried to put out a rye whiskey, which would be crazy, but I'm going to give you one more score after this sip. I don't love it. I don't hate it. We give it a 7.0 if it's an average tasting whiskey. For me personally, it's below average. I think it's like a 6.54. It's not crazy bad, but at the end of the day, it's just not for me. 6.54 is where we're going to put it. And here's the thing, I haven't seen a lot of people's opinions on this. I know there's a lot of videos out there. I know I'm like late to the game when it comes to this one. I've been taking a little time off when it comes to the content creation, taking a little break. Nothing crazy, a week or two here or there, but it starts to add up. I got like 15, 20 bottles over here we got to review. We got barrel picks coming out. We got single barrel picks. We got stuff going on with Drifting Drams, Hello Again Whiskey Friends, Dusty Dan, John from Gentlemen of Whiskey. Like all of these channels are combining for a bunch of good stuff. That being said, price on this was $100. Here in Pennsylvania, I think it was $105.99 after tax. In one of my videos, when I actually went out and hunted this one and found it, people, they heard $5.99. It was $105.99. So if you're freaking out that I paid $599 for this, relax. I did not pay. I can't answer all your comments saying $599. Let's do some, just think about it for a minute. $100 for this, I think, is just, again, if this is a craft distillery putting out their first 6-7-year-old whiskey, that'd be great. Maker's Mark is either struggling because I called them out, or they're putting out bad whiskey at a bad price, because $100 is just way too much for this. Let's assume this is a 7-year-old whiskey. Let's assume Maker's Mark isn't struggling for money. This should be a $65 bottle of whiskey. Let's assume Maker's Mark recognized that the hype train is here and probably ending pretty quickly when it comes to the whiskey world, and they're trying to do a last-minute money grab. That's the way I see it. I call it as I see it. I think about these things. I'm not telling anybody this. I'm telling you now. But it just seems like they put out a product. It's a decent product. It's an overpriced product, if you ask me. At $100, I don't love this. We give it a 7.0 if it's average tasting, average price between $75 and $90 with an average drinkability. We kind of even things out on the drinkability and the price scale. Oh, I'm sorry, the drinkability and the taste scale. But again, I feel like it's 75 to 90. We're at 100, and I don't feel like it deserves to be at 100. So we're going to go again. We're going to go like low sixes for this, like 6.13 when it comes to the price on this. I think this is an average bottle of whiskey that's pretty much just above average when it comes to price. So 6.13 when it comes to price on this. But let's do this real quick. I don't want to keep you guys too much longer. Do I have another clean glass? I do. Let me grab one of these right here. We're going to do this real quick. I just want to compare this to something else that they have in this proof range, right? I have, guys, people are like, why do you keep buying Maker's Mark if you don't like it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, I might have 12 bottles of Maker's Mark. I have all of the different wood finishing series from all of the years. I have different picks from I have the fine wine and good spirits picks. I have the Banash liquor picks, all kinds of stuff. So I stopped. Once the wood finishing series was supposed to end and they came out with the next wood finishing series, I kind of got a little pissed off about it. Rubbed me the wrong way. But let's try that. Ooh, that looks dark compared to this one. That's kind of crazy. I mean, I don't know if there's no age statement on the 46. That's dark, which is even crazier. Again, I feel like it's complex. I just don't feel like it's good. Let's get into this, though. Bourbon Bomb of the Week. Roll the footage. I've been drinking this tonight, so let's start with this. This is going to be real quick. I mean, this is bourbon versus wheated whiskey. There's not a lot of people out there making like an actual wheat whiskey. I'm sure there are more than I know, but I haven't tried a lot of wheat whiskey in my day. Couple here, couple of there. I believe the Old Dom is coming out with a wheat whiskey. I think it's a little young right now, but when they get some age behind that stuff, I think that's going to be really good. By the way, Old Dom pick dropping. It probably already dropped. It's already gone. By the time I edit this video, you kidding me? I mean, I tell people all the time, if you're going to buy a Maker's Mark product, I don't hate Maker's Mark. I feel like this is like Maker's Mark slander over here. I don't hate Maker's Mark. This is freaking delicious. They should just stop with this. The wood finishing series, there were the good ones here and there. The BRT01 was good. I never got to try the RC6 or something like that. I heard that one was really good. This is on the shelf all of the time. Maker's Mark 46 cash strength. Freaking delicious. Their bottom shelf stuff, like their quote unquote well stuff, very good for what it is. Like, I agree that Maker's Mark makes a good product. The thing that bothered me, the thing that rubbed me the wrong way, is that they just continued to do wood finishing and like, oh, we have 10 staves, you pick your 10 staves, and it's 3 of this, 5 of that, 7. I've talked enough about it. I won't talk about it anymore. This is freaking delicious. Compared to this, I think I like this one way better. It just doesn't do it for me. Again, there's just like it's stuck in the back of my head that there's like a crafty note to this. And again, it's not blended well. Like, whoever was doing the blending process, whoever was deciding which flavor should mix with what here, didn't seem like they know what they're doing. They're Maker's Mark, right? Like, I don't want to just sit here and best thing that they've ever done, by the way, this top, by the way. We didn't talk about it. This is heavy duty and no wax. I'm pro get rid of wax. The wax top gotta go. Maker's Mark might be the only company that can still pull it off because they've been doing it for so long. I don't know if somebody's has been doing it before Maker's Mark, but I get it. The red, you get the dunks, you find them, people love it. I get it. I hate opening wax top containers for whiskey. I feel like this is giving me everything that this is giving me, but like twofold. It's giving me like it's still super soft to drink, super easy to drink. Wouldn't call it 110 proof. Still get like that raspberry note. It's missing that peanutty note. I feel like the maltedness, the malted barleyness. I mean, we were talking 22% on this bottle over here. That's kind of dissipating a little bit, so you don't get that peanutty note, which I feel like was throwing me off over here. And this is just so much more. This is more dense. There's more flavors. I feel like this is more complex, but I feel like this is more, they work what's that, cohesive? They work better together, the flavors that are going on in this glass. The finish on this is a little bit longer. The finish on this is a little bit shorter. It's kind of like a pick your own poison thing. I'm a bourbon guy through and through, and you could tell if you like mix, I could do this 100 times. You could spin these up, whatever you needed to do this blind. I'd be able to pick out which one's the bourbon. It's just pretty easy to tell that this is the bourbon. Listen, I've kept you on this long enough. $100, if this is a $65 bottle of whiskey and it's on the shelf all the time, which I feel like I have also spoken into existence, that's the future of what people are trying to do with whiskey. The one-off $4,000 bottle release, 4,000 bottle releases are like done. They're going to continue, but I feel like for the most part, people are trying to find that wild turkey 8-year where they can mass produce it and people will still love it, and it's a solid bottle of whiskey. If they could have done that with this at $65 to $70, I feel like they'd have a solid bottle of whiskey on the shelf all of the time. But something that's going to be, I'm hoping this isn't like a quote unquote limited release and they start to produce more of these and can bring that price point down or at least hold it even for a while, because that's what I feel like a lot of companies do. They set it here and then they keep it here, and as everybody else moves up, they start to get a little bit more realistic. But that's just my opinion on that. Listen, I feel like I usually drag on these videos. 6.93 is where this bottle falls. Not awful, not great. I mean, a 7.0 is an average bottle of whiskey. This is an average bottle of whiskey. I agree with that 100%. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I'm excited that Maker's Mark is coming out with something new. I'm hoping maybe future releases are a little bit better. They're tweaked just a little bit here and there. In my personal opinion, take a little bit of that peanutty flavor out of that, and you've got yourself a great whiskey. Even with that chocolate on the end, maybe a little bit more oak, and we've got something fantastic here. Again, not a bad whiskey, but a 6.93 is where we're going to keep it. In the meantime, make sure you check me out on Instagram at Bourbon of the Week. Go click that follow button over there. Click that like and subscribe here on YouTube. I would greatly appreciate that. Make sure you check out our Patreon page and our Discord. Please don't drink and drive. Always drink responsibly. Stay healthy, stay happy, and stay making new whiskey and calling companies out if they're not, because apparently they're listening. Cheers, y'all. It's all right.